Hi guys, this is Phase 7 Mondays program. So this one is the AMRAP style that we have. So we're gonna do a 4-minute AMRAP of 2 exercises for 10 reps of each exercise. The first week is gonna be a 4-minute AMRAP, and then the last 3 weeks are gonna be a 4.5-minute AMRAP to take advantage of the whole time frame. So Monday's program is completely lower body focus. So meaning that we're gonna go through and we're gonna do everything in the lower body, and then on Thursday's program, we're gonna have all upper body programs. So they're kind of paired well together during a week. So Nick's gonna go ahead and start demonstrating each station.
Alright, so the first one we're going to have is going to be Plate Goodmornings paired with Miniband Clam Shells. So for Plate Goodmornings, we're going to have a plate. It can go probably pretty heavy for this one. Pull it up with their chest here. They're going to start with their knees slightly bent. You want to make sure they're not locked out. And then just going to drive their hips back, getting all the way over and back up. Most important thing, like I said, is having the knees slightly bent. And then we want to just get the back flat, get those hips all the way back, bent all the way over. So you feel this in the back of their legs or in their hamstrings. Just going up and down with these ones. So just making sure their knees are bent and their back is flat on. Then the next one is going to be Miniband Clam Shells. So what I want them to do is get into the band first before they start. Then they're just going to keep it on the whole time, so they don't have to keep getting in and out. So when they do the good mornings, we're going to have them keep the bands on their knees. So for Miniband Clam Shells, we're going to get the band on their knees here. Right above the knees, they're going to be on their side. We want to make sure that their feet are right about in line with their body, and their knees are right at 90. So some people go back, we don't want that. We also don't want them up front. We want them right in line, just like this. Then all they're doing, they're going up with that leg under control and back down. We want to make sure they're not turning their body, so we want to just be using that leg, just going up and down, just like this. They're going to be doing 10 of these, and then they're going to do 10 on one side, and then next round, we'll do 10 on the other side. So 10 up and down under control, getting that knee above the hip here if they can. Just up and down 10 of these, and then switch it. And then like I said, when they go back to the good morning, we want to keep the band around their knees just so they don't have to keep taking it on and off every time. Alright, so that's the first station. Second one, again, would be over by the weight racks over here. First thing they're going to have over here is going to be kettlebell swings. So for this one, the kettlebell, we want to make sure that they're starting with it out in front of them so that they get in a good starting position. Just have the hips back. Then you're just swinging it to their hips, snapping hips forward, letting the weight float up in front of them. So continuously just going, snapping those hips, letting it float. And then when they're done, just down like that. Now, new people do have a lot of trouble with this one, so if you have someone who's new or not experienced, we can do a kettlebell RDL as a modification. So for that, we just have the weight here, just driving the hips back, going right down, right about below the knees in the middle of the shin, back up. Again, this would be for more new people who don't have a lot of experience with it or just who have not great form. So making it a little bit, practicing that position but not having to do the swings. Now, there's one way to make it a little harder. People can go heavier than 50 pounds on the kettlebells, or if they're more comfortable, they can do skier swings. So it's very similar. Just have the kettlebell or the dumbbells by their side here. Feet are going to be a little bit narrower, but it's almost the same thing. Hips back, snap the weights forward. Hips back, snapping them forward. Letting the weights float up. Again, this would be probably for people who are a little more advanced and go a little bit heavier or just more comfortable with this position. So that's the first one over here, and then the second one is going to be single arm farmer carry. So for this one, they're going to have the kettlebell. Ideally, they would use the kettlebell they're using, or use a kettlebell if they're using it for swings. They can also use dumbbells as well. What they're going to do, have it in one arm, then they're just walking. What they're going to do, they're going to walk on one side, so either the turf. When they get to the turf, turn around, walk back to the other side, and then when they get to the other side where the mirrors are, walk back to where they started with their swings. So that makes sure they're getting enough distance on that. And then for this one, they are going to do that for one arm, then switch to the other arm, do the same thing on the other arm just so they get enough time, so they're not just doing a ton of swings, and also make sure they're getting some good work on both sides of the body for this one. So swings, and then the single arm rolls over. Alright, next station we're going to have is going to be over here by the wall. First thing you're going to have is going to be wall balls. So for this, you have a medicine ball, we're going to have some heavier ones over here. But all they're going to do for this, pull it right by their chest right here, squatting all the way down, exploding up, throwing it against the wall, catching it up against the wall. With this one, you want to try to go as continuous as they can. I know some people will go like this, throw it, and then stop and take a really long pause. So we want to try to get them going as many as they can in a row, trying to go quick. But the most important thing is really that they're squatting all the way down and then using that to explode up, throwing it as high as they can over the wall. All right, so that's the first one over here. The second one is going to be cross behind lunges. So we can weight this. If they do weight it, they're going to use medicine ball as well. So they're just going to give it a hug. Then they're just going to be nice and tall, going behind across their body, back to the other side. So just crossing side to side. They're going to do 10 of these as well. So just alternating sides, 10 total. If they have trouble with the weight on this one, they can do it assisted if they need to with a stick. So someone who has a little stability issues, just hold on to this, going back, crossing behind. We just want to make sure that they're getting that knee close to the ground on these ones. All right, and then if someone really has trouble, they can do modification reverse lunge or something if they have really knee issues or something with crossing behind their body. But we want to try to get everyone, as many people as we can, doing the cross behind version of these. All right, so that's the third one. What's that?
Chest passes.
Oh yes. Modification for the that one will be chest passes. If they have trouble with that, a little bit easier. They can climb in the wall. That would be if someone has knee issues and they can't get in that position, they can't bend their back knee down. That's what we have them do as a modification for that.
And this one can be done outside. If it's a beautiful day, you can have some people inside, some people outside.
All right, so the next one you're going to have is going to be band pull through. This is going to be the first exercise. So we're going to have black and red bands over here. What we want them to do is walk out, get some tension on the band. Now, if it is the band is too easy and they're walking way out to the turf, past the turf, we want them to get a lighter band. We don't want to take the bands that far, but we do want to get some tension on them as well. So what they're going to do for this, have the weight or have the handle right by their hips here, right in between their legs. Then they're just driving the hips back, getting it all the way down, keeping those knees slightly bent, then standing forward, nice and tall on this one. So it's okay if their hands go back a little bit, but we do not want them to be going back so far that they're rounding their back. So try to keep them relatively close to the hips and just stamping forward, nice and tall every time with these. So keeping that back flat is really important over here. Then the next one you're going to have is going to be slider single leg deadlift. So this is a new movement for pretty much everyone. So this is going to take a lot of coaching up, making sure that they get their form right on this one. What they're going to have, we can weight this with a medicine ball. So if we do have this, they can weight it just like this. What they're going to do, have one foot on the slider, one foot's not going to be on a slider. Then they're just pushing, driving hips back, going down, and back up. Driving those hips back, down, back up. Now, it's really important that they're not just rounding their back, they're leaning. And then we also want to make sure they're not leaning over that front foot. We want to really get those hips back, just like that, and back up nice and tall. This one they are switching sides each round. The modification, we can't do this without weight, so if people are having trouble with form, we want to get that form around before we do a lot of weight. We can do this without weight, so it'll be the same thing, just getting those hips back, and then go nice and tall. And then if people still have trouble with that, we can get rid of the slider, do it, what do you call it, kickstand, single leg deadlift. So driving the hips back, just practicing getting those hips back before we introduce the slider, which is a little more challenging. So if people have trouble with this one, we can do it without a slider as well. And then we are switching sides each round on this one. So this is the fourth one. Fifth one is going to be over here, TRX Speed. The first thing that we're going to have is going to be TRX Speed Squats. So for this one, we're just going quick with them. They're going to have, we want to make sure their arms are nice and long. Some people tend to bend their arms, which really when they do that, they're pulling themselves up. So try to have their arms long for everyone. Then you're just going all the way down, up, nice and quick. With these ones, really we're just trying to go for quickness and getting all the way down. Make sure people aren't doing little squats. You want that depth, and then going quick. So that's the first one. You can slow it down if people have knee issues, but we are trying to go quick with these speed squats. Second one is going to be hip thrusters. We can weight these with a sandbag, but we're doing single leg hip thrusters first, which is the main version. So to get in the position, you want people to have their arm out, make sure that they're resting on their shoulders here. Then they can go like this when they're actually doing the movement, but this is a good position to get them into the right starting position. Then we're doing single leg, so they're going to have one leg out, get those hips all the way down and back up, making sure they're getting all the way up. And we just want to get as close to the ground as they can. really challenging them on this one. For people who have a lot of trouble with that single leg, you can do it double leg. Try to get as many people as we can to do single leg, but double leg is almost the same, just a little bit easier. Going down, get those hips all the way up, down, and up. And then to challenge people who are pretty good at the movement, we can weight it. So single leg, just get the weight on here, challenge them a little bit, going down and up, all the way down there, and back up on this one. All right, and then this one we are also switching our legs each round. So 10 on one side and the next round, doing 10 on the other. All right, and that is the workout for today.
Now we have no finisher.